Thank you guys so much for joining us. Can you believe it is June of 2026 and this fiscal year is almost over? 11 months in, less than 4 weeks to go until the end of the fiscal year. And we've had an incredible year with the CART Fund, all because of each and every one of you. So let me begin by saying welcome and thank you for what you do to help us be successful, because without each and every one of you, that would not be the case. We have a lot of folks with us tonight who are either watching here with us live or hopefully are going to be watching the recording that are perhaps new to what this meeting is. So just as a reminder, every month we typically meet on the first Monday. This month was rescheduled due to some travel schedules. But this is CART Conversations. This is an opportunity for us to share with anyone who is interested in learning more about CART, whether it's a club chair, a club member, a non-Rotarian, a district chair, someone from a district governor line, a board member, anyone who is interested in supporting our cause of finding a prevention, treatment, or cure for Alzheimer's. We are glad that you're here, and there is plenty of volunteer work for everyone. So even if you're not a district chair, don't feel like there is no reason for you to be here. We're going to have plenty of work to do in the year to come as well. So I thank you for each and every one of you for being here. A couple of quick announcements, and then we're going to have a few things that we're going to chat about tonight. Just wanted to remind you that we do typically meet on the first Monday of every month. In the month of July, that will be a holiday month because the July 4th is on a Saturday, and that is a holiday weekend for a lot of folks. So we will reschedule the July meeting. I apologize, I do not have the new date for you yet. I want to make sure we don't conflict with any of the other zone meetings, but I will get that out as quickly as possible, and I will get it on our calendar, which you can find either in DACDB or on our website, and we'll encourage you to go ahead and get registered for that so that you'll get the notifications, and then you can of course share it with other people in your club and in your district that might want to join us as well. Of course, the other important dates that we have on our calendar, as you guys have heard me say for several months, first and foremost is the annual meeting. The 2026 annual meeting for the CART Fund will be held in July on the 30th and the 31st in Charlotte, North Carolina. On Thursday evening will be a cocktail reception, complimentary to attend for anyone who wants to come. We will have an opportunity to mix and mingle and network and fellowship with our 10 researchers, 10 up-and-coming researchers from around the country who were selected to receive CART grants this year, and they'll be joining us on Thursday in Charlotte. The cocktail reception will just be a laid-back, very casual atmosphere, an opportunity to chat with them. Immediately following the reception, which is from 5:30 to 6:30, we do have dinners, and we break up into 10 groups, and you will have individuals during the reception who are helping to organize who's going in which group. So you'll learn all about that when you get there. It's not something you have to worry about in advance, but a special shout out and thank you to our district chair from 7670, Andy Dent Taylor, who coordinates all of those restaurants for us and did an amazing job last year and is coordinating that for us again this year. But we'll give you the details of that on Thursday night at the reception. Just know it's a Dutch treat. You get a chance to go to dinner in a small group with one of our researchers, and that's always an amazing opportunity to get to know them, talk to them, ask questions on a real personal level, and get to hear some of their stories as well. And then on Friday, July the 31st, is what we call our annual meeting. This is when we actually have the presentations by our top 2 recipients. And this year's top 2 recipients are getting $500,000 grants each. And then we will have 2 panel discussions featuring the other 8 recipients from this year. We will also have some awards that we're presenting, including the top 3 clubs and the top 3 districts from this fiscal year and from last fiscal year, because last year's event was held in June before the fiscal year ended. So we'll be awarding 2 years worth of awards. In addition to that, we're also going to be awarding Spirit of CART awards. These are for clubs that contributed $10,000 or more. So we'll be doing that for last fiscal year and this fiscal year. And in the next week or so, we're going to be sending out emails to all of those folks, letting them know that they are part of that and hope that someone from their club will be able to attend. We'll also be sending personal invitations to all of our district governor lines, and all of you who are on our mailing list are going to be getting a newsletter by the end of the week with all of that information as well. But that will be all day on Friday, basically 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It includes a buffet lunch, and the cost to attend is $55. You guys tonight are the first to hear that registration is open. I wanted you all to know before we put it out to the general mass public for a couple of reasons. As Michelle, who is on this call, will attest to, she was my test. She was able to go in and register and make sure that I didn't miss anything, that nothing was incorrect. A couple of you have done that now as well. So I encourage you all who are on the call to know that this is your opportunity. If you are an attendee who is paying the $55 to attend, please go ahead and register. If you are one of the sponsors of this event, do not register yet, because I will need to manually enter your complimentary registrations, unless of course you want to pay us more than once, and that's totally up to you. But if we have some amazing and generous sponsors that you're going to be hearing about, and they do receive registrations as part of their sponsors package, and so I will manually enter you if you are a sponsor, because I'll need to know the names and all of that, and we'll be talking about that individually. But if you are not a sponsor of the event, you're planning to attend either in person or online, and online is free, there's no cost to do that, and Zoom with us all day Friday, then please go ahead and go to the DACTB calendar, find CART events, find the annual meeting on July 30th and 31st, and go ahead and register. If you would be bringing someone who is a non-Rotarian, you can register them as your guest. If they are a Rotarian, make sure you select that you're registering another Rotarian so that we know what club they're in, and we can track all of that information. We're excited about the annual meeting. We have some great sponsors who are underwriting the cost of the cocktail reception, and the researchers who will be attending so that their meals are covered, so that we have some other things. We can do some nice gifts for them and say thank you to them. Other than that, $55 is what it cost us to pay for lunch, and then we have sponsors that are covering our breaks and things, and room rates and all of those things that we have to take care of, audio visual, all of that, to put on an event. So we try to keep that cost for you all to attend at exactly what the cost of your lunch is, and sponsors cover everything else for us. So unless there are any questions about the annual meeting, I'm happy to answer those if anyone has that. Otherwise, I will move on. Oh, actually, no, before you ask your question, let me add one more thing. That the annual meeting is held at the Charlotte Airport Hilton, okay? And so that you'll see that when you register. However, the room blocks for you all to attend are at 2 different hotels, because we have so many people that we are spread out. So if you need to get a hotel room, I have blocks of 10 rooms each at 2 different hotels. That is the DoubleTree, and there's a second one. That is the Hyatt Place Charlotte Airport. They are both right nearby. We have excellent rates. If you are coming from out of town and you need rooms, then I encourage you. Those links are in the registration information in DACTB. You can find it there. Go ahead and reserve your room at one of those 2 venues. And literally, it's less than a 5-minute drive around to the host hotel. At the host hotel, we will have our researchers there, because we have a limited number of rooms. And so we're putting our researchers there because they're flying in and all of that. So, but do go ahead and get your rooms. We have 20 rooms, 10 at the Hyatt Place, 10 at the DoubleTree by Hilton. If those were to fill up, they'll let me know, and we'll see if we can get more. We have already extended our original block because our event is growing so much, which is a good problem to have. So now that I've added that, because I apologize, I forgot it sooner, are there any other questions about the annual meeting? Excellent. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to share with you all, other than dates, was that if you have dates of events and activities, whether you as a district chair are making club presentations, or if your district or club has a fundraiser for CART, if you will make sure to send me that information, I will get it added to the DACTB calendar. And right now I'm still the one doing that. So if you'll just email it to me, if you email me the club name, the date, the time, and I will be happy to get that added to our DACTB calendar. And we want people to know what you are out there doing. So feel free to send me that information if you have it. If you have sent it to me already and it's not on the calendar, just do me a favor and send it to me again. I am getting hundreds of emails and I'm trying so hard to get caught up. So I apologize for that. But if you'll send those to me right now, then I'll be happy to get that done. All right. So those are the dates and things that I wanted to get caught up on. And now the next thing on our agenda is a fundraising idea of the month. And it's a little bit less of an event idea, which is what we usually talk about most months, as more of a really unique idea that sounds so simple that you are going to go, why didn't I think of this? And maybe some of you already do it, but I've asked Michelle to share with you guys. She served as the district chair for many years in 7670. And prior to that, she was a club chair. So she used this process then. And now she's a divisional regional chair, and she shares this idea with people everywhere she goes. So I'm going to ask Michelle to share with you guys her way of getting a little bit extra money out of the folks that she meets when she speaks to clubs.
So I feel like perhaps I'm speaking to the choir here, because this is a group of people who know how to raise money. But I found a long time ago when I first started, I'd make my presentation about the CART Fund, and then I would challenge the club. It was my own club, and I would say I would write my first check for $100, and then I would challenge the people in the club to match. And really, we used to say we wanted $1,000. I mean, we were looking for 10 matches from the club. And then obviously it grew and grew. And I find that that really works. The competition in that part initially at the beginning, and Glenda's smiling because she knows it works too. People want to know that you are the person coming out making the presentation, that you believe in what you're telling them about. And the real way to show that is by making your own contribution. I continue to do that when I talk at different clubs. Sometimes it's not $100 match. Sometimes it's a $50 match. It could be a $10 match. As a speaker coming into somebody else's club, I might talk to the president first and say, what are you comfortable with? I'll make a check presentation and I'll make a donation to your club, for $25, and ask the room to match. Leading by example seems to be the way to go to get other people involved. They know that you care, and then they'll care. I think really it has always worked for me, no matter where I come, and actually no matter what organization I work with. If people want to give and they know that you're giving, people in the room will be happy to make a donation as well. So it's kind of simple, but it's from the heart and it works for me. And I know everybody in this room has made their own donation as well. And sometimes we don't talk about it, but I think it's okay to talk about it. So leading by example, making your donation.
And Michelle has found a way to utilize CART pins as an incentive, right?
Well, right. Initially, I mean, we've been doing this for 6 years now, 5 years, 6 years now. So originally, I used to say to get a CART pin, you had to make $100 contribution. And that was a way of just involving people also, to say, instead of just giving away pins to people. There are many organizations out there that have pins that represent levels of giving. So that was a way of saying, okay, I'm giving to the CART Fund as well. And now we have recurring donors. So, and we have a recurring donor pin. So another way to say that is, I'm making this first $100 pledge, or I'm making a $10 pledge, or 120. Apparently my internet connection is unstable. Okay. I'm making this $10 pledge every month for 12 months, which is $120. And if you're the first person to come up here, if you come up here and do that, I'll present you with a recurring donor pin. So another way to get people to be a recurring donor instead of just giving a one-time gift. And that we've grown into.
Absolutely.
Which is great, which is really great.
Thank you, Michelle. So I think that Milton mentioned to me earlier that he is out of lapel pins. I wanted to let you guys know that the new shipment just arrived. I have a couple hundred. I don't have, thousands, but I do have some. So if you would like to take Michelle's idea to a club or to your district governor line and say, hey, I've got these new cart pins. I'd love to give you one if you'll sign up to, if you'll give me $20 today or $50 today or whatever. And as she mentioned, the recurring donor pins, those we're still distributing out to folks who are recurring donors. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that the recurring donor designation is not just anyone who gives $60. What we say is it's a recurring donation of at least $60 every year. So if you have someone that hands you $60 and says, now I'm a recurring donor, now they're a $60 donor. So, but what we want is for them to commit to the distribution of the IRA, required minimum distribution, or the EFT automatic withdrawal, or the annual distribution from their donor advised fund or something like that. That's what, by definition, what makes someone a recurring donor. And that's who we want to recognize. These people that are giving over and over. That's not to say that if someone does it the first time that we can't recognize them, because obviously we want to say thank you to people. We want to recognize them, but we want you to remind them that we want them to do that every year. And so we will continue to present those pins on the postcard for our recurring donors and recognize them. And if you are taking and presenting those and taking photos, please remember to send those to me because I will post them in our social media accounts, and we'll continue to recognize those people as well. So I mentioned that the pins have come in. The buckets also arrived last week. I now have 3,000 buckets here. And so I have a list, I believe, of people who need some. I know that Don needs them because he has, so he's getting ready to go on his trip across the country. But if you all will do me a favor and send me an email tonight or whenever you get a moment and remind me exactly how many you need and where to ship them to, I will take care of that in the next 2 days. I just got home tonight. Those will go out Thursday and Friday, and we'll get you new buckets. We just delivered a bunch tonight, last night, to a brand new district in the far western corner of Tennessee that we're opening up CART there, and we are sending a bunch to a brand new district that we're opening up in Texas. But I have plenty right now if you need them. I can usually count on Greg Ross to say, go ahead and send me an entire case. If any of you are willing to do that, that makes it very simple. It costs me about $25 to send you an entire case of I don't know, what is that, 250 buckets, I believe. So I'm happy to do that if you want that and then you want to distribute them yourself in your district. But you guys let me know how many buckets you need and I'll be happy to get those out to you. Any questions about that? Or is there anything that anyone needs other than lapel pins? Let me know. Or buckets, let me know. Michelle. Michelle.
I want to add something to the bucket idea. We have those very, very large buckets that we buy at Lowe's and Home Depot, and we put our label on them, and they are a fabulous visual for any place, in any event, in any room. You can do the collection event that way, collecting from your buckets or collecting from your jars or your cans and doing it into one large bucket. But the buckets are not expensive, and they really, when you put the CART logo on them, or you put the what's the code on them, people really stop and say, well, what is that? So you can do that as well, just in addition.
Great, thank you. And if you have not heard that before, or if you had forgotten about that, the graphics that Michelle is talking about that are the exact size to go on that bucket are available for download on our website. If you go to the resources page, you can download, it says like big bucket QR code and big bucket logo or something like that, so that you know that's what it is. And you can download that, print it on your printer, laminate it, attach it to the bucket, that kind of thing. Okay, then in addition to the resources, that's what I was saying, that is available on the resources page of our website. That brings to us our public image tip of the month, and that is the resource page on our website. So thank you, Michelle, for making that such an easy transition for me. We are adding some new items to that tomorrow. And our new intern is going to learn how to get into our website tomorrow. And I'm sorry she could not be with us tonight, but her parents planned a dinner, not knowing that she had a work meeting on her calendar because she's home for the summer. But so she did not get to join us tonight. But she has created for us 3 new Zoom backgrounds. I know I see 2 of you are using some of the ones that we've created before. We are working on our new ad campaign for 2026-27, and I'm happy to announce that we're going to move forward with the same one we've been using this year, which is the missing piece of the puzzle. And so the new Zoom backgrounds have that on there as well, the little puzzle pieces. So she and I have been working on that, and she has come up with some that I really like. We're going to get those uploaded to the website hopefully tomorrow, Friday at the latest, and then you guys will be able to download those and use them. You'll find them on that resource page. So the Zoom backgrounds will be there. And then, as many of you know, every July when the new fiscal year starts, we do an orientation for new district chairs where we give you all the information that you need to know to do your job, and club chairs as well. We also give you a new PowerPoint that you can use when you go out and do your presentations. And our intern, her name is Addie. She is a student at the University of South Carolina, I might add, and she is helping us create the new PowerPoint for next year. And so we're working on that as well. It is not ready yet, but it will be ready by July 1. I promise you that. And we'll have that ready. We'll get the new orientation scheduled, and we probably will just combine that orientation as our July conversations call so that we do it all in one time and we don't ask you to meet more than once. And we will provide all of the new district chairs with their slideshow that they need and the notes that go with it. And you'll be able to see all the graphics and things. We will continue that missing piece of the puzzle theme. We'll continue to use that on the graphics for things like our monthly leaderboard, our presentations of Changemaker Awards, our presentations of recurring donor Roger Ackerman Circle pins, and our gifts by clubs or individuals of $500 or more. Those are the graphics that we currently put on our website. We'll also be rolling out some videos and things like that. So we will continue that missing piece this coming year. And if you're at the annual meeting, you'll see a little bit more of that. We're cooking up some ideas for you guys that we're excited about. I said, I have an idea. And Carol went, yes, let's do it. So, and in that theme, you guys know Carol is coming up on the end of her 2 years as president. She followed Rod, who did 2 years as president. And immediately following Carol, starting in July, will be Jimmy Williamson. So you guys will be hearing from him a lot more. And he and I really had an idea. And so you're going to see a whole new campaign rolling out in July. And we're going to unveil it at the annual meeting. So you do not want to miss this. Trust me. You put Jimmy and me together, it is really going to be crazy. So we're very excited. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be yet, but we're going to roll that out on July 31st. So we look forward to that. So the other things I was going to share with you are for that public image tip of the month, talking about the new Zoom backgrounds. All of those things will be coming forward. Anyone who's on this email list will be invited to all those meetings. All of the information I just mentioned is all going to be available for download by anyone, whether you're a club chair, a district governor line, or an interested individual in a club. All of that is always available to anyone to download from our website. So everybody has access to that. The other things I wanted to mention to you, let someone in, is when we talk about public image, we also talk a lot about donor recognition and donor appreciation. And there will be an entirely new focus on that in the new fiscal year as well. We have some new board members coming on that are taking on additional responsibilities. We are expanding, as you heard me say, even farther across the country. And next year, I really want us all, not just me, not just districts, not just clubs, I want us to all focus on 3 really important things when it comes to our public image and our donor appreciation and donor engagement. The first is promoting our recurring donors as the members of the Roger Ackerman Circle, making sure they get their pins, making sure they know who Roger was, making sure that we promote that at every presentation that we make, that you have an opportunity to be a member of the Roger Ackerman Circle and earn this beautiful lapel pin and wear it with pride. That's the first focus we want to make sure that we're stressing when we're talking to people. And quite honestly, these three things are things that you guys can use right now, even before the new year starts. The second one is what we're calling the Champions Circle. And that is folks who donate, individuals who donate $1,000 or more during a fiscal year. And that might be a one-time gift. It might be a cumulative gift. We have a lot of folks who are members of the Roger Ackerman Circle, who are recurring donors, who give $100 a month, and that makes them automatically a member of the Champion Circle. We have individuals who give $1,000 or more as an RMD, a required minimum distribution, or a gift from their IRA, or a gift from their donor advice fund. We have people who make a gift once a year, twice a year, whatever the case may be. $1,000 is that threshold that we're calling in CART major donors. So anyone who gives $1,000 or more is going to be recognized as a member of the Champion Circle. Now, in the past, what that has entailed is an invitation to a one-time a year virtual donor appreciation social. You guys may remember we do that in January, which is about halfway through our year. That will continue, but we're going to be doing some other things this coming year as well to recognize those donors, including a very special recognition at our annual meeting in July. So at that meeting, not only are we going to recognize clubs and recurring donors and individuals and this new theme that we're rolling out, but we have some really special ways to recognize folks at that meeting who are members of our Champion Circle. So you have the opportunity with the next 27, 28 days to remind people to look in the portal, find out what their giving total is for this fiscal year. And if they would like to hit $1,000, then we will include them in that recognition of our Champion Circle at the annual meeting. In the same sense, the third thing was as what we are calling Spirit of CART Awards. And you guys, I don't know how many of you remember that when we rolled out your PowerPoint in July of last year for this fiscal year, we said we were going to recognize clubs at $30,000 or more. In hindsight, you may remember 5 or 6 months ago, I mentioned that that did not turn out to be a realistic goal for us. We changed that, you guys may remember, in November or December to $10,000 or more. Any club that contributes $10,000 or more in a fiscal year is considered a Spirit of CART club. They are going to get a special recognition at the annual meeting as well. And so this is the opportunity, if you're a district chair, to go into the portal and look at the giving for right now, 28 days left, to reach out to the clubs that are at $8,000 or $9,000 and say, did you know your club is only $1,000 away from hitting the recognition for the Spirit of CART and being recognized at our annual meeting? And then you also have the opportunity to invite the club president to come to the annual meeting or the district governor and to accept those awards on their behalf. We're going to make it really donor centric. That's going to become a focus for us in the coming year. We are doing incredible things, breaking records with fundraising. And one of the things we've just never had the time to do is really focus on our donors. And I intend to make that a focus this coming year. Jimmy agrees with me. This is something that we really need to recognize people as often as we can, even though our donors say, I don't need any recognition, I don't need to be thanked. They do need to be thanked over and over. And we're going to make a conscious effort to do that. And in doing that, I hope that you're always hearing me say thank you to you all as well. But I want us all to make a conscious effort in the coming year. That's one of the goals that we have, is to be more donor centric. So those are the things that we're going to be focusing on at the annual meeting, recognizing our $1,000 or more individuals, circle of our Champion Circle, recognizing our Spirit of CART clubs, $10,000 or more, and recognizing members of the Roger Ackerman Circle who are recurring donors. The fourth group we're going to be recognizing are all the people who have been recognized as change makers this year. And we're going to invite them to wear their medallions to the meeting and be proud of that. We have another way we're going to recognize them as well. But if you are a district chair who has not presented an award to someone in your district this year, let me remind you that you also have 28 days left to select someone in your district to say thank you, congratulations, and present them with an award from your district, because we're doing both district awards and board of director awards. And you've seen on Facebook, I've been presenting some from our board. But remember, in fact, I think Tom might be the only one on here right now who has actually presented one to on behalf of the district. So if any of you would like to do that, please let me know. I know Greg has a plan, so we won't talk about what that is. That's coming up later. It's going to be a little bit, he has picked one. But for the rest of you, please let me know. I can get you a medallion. I will get you the script that we created for you to recognize a valuable volunteer. It does not have to be a donor. It could be a volunteer. It could be someone who chaired an event or has been a real advocate in your district. All of those things are opportunities to recognize individuals, and we're going to recognize them at the annual meeting as well. And then the final thing that I'm going to ask you as we get these last 28 days is to also go into the portal and look at your district and see how many zero giving clubs are still remaining in your district. For some districts, they may only have 5 or 6 clubs each year that don't participate. For some of you, to have 1 or 2 clubs that don't participate might put you in a panic mode right now because you're used to having 100% participation. But you have almost 4 weeks left to go into the portal, take a look, find out. It's an opportunity to pick up the phone. You can send an email, or you can pick up the phone and you can say, this is Tiffany. I'm your district CART chair. I just noticed in our records that your club has not contributed to the CART fund this year, but last year you gave X number of dollars. What can I do to help you get that taken care of before the end of June? How can I help you get it into the portal? Or maybe they think they did it and they forgot. Maybe they thought maybe they mailed it somewhere and we haven't gotten a check, because Johnny and I deal with that every day with people who said they mailed a check and it just hasn't arrived yet. We have all of those issues. So we want to make sure that no one gets left behind. And we as a board and me as the one staff cannot call all 600 Rotary clubs and say, I noticed that you haven't given a gift this year. So that's where we rely on you, if you are a district chair, to follow up with those folks and make sure that they know where they stand and where and how to correct it or update it. And that is the perfect time for you to communicate these next 4 weeks with your district, in your district, with your CART club chairs or your club presidents. If you don't have a committee of club chairs, in your district governor line, put something in your district newsletter, whatever. Remind people fiscal year end is June 30th. This is their opportunity to get their gifts in, because there might be clubs that are just, maybe they're not a zero giving club, but maybe they have money sitting in their treasury that they just haven't submitted yet. And this is the opportunity to do that. Simple, with an EFT transfer, get it into the portal and get the credit. They'll get the email automatically. If clubs are still sending checks to you as a district chair and you're entering them, that's a whole nother story that we'll talk about on another night. I hope you're saving all of the documentation, but ideally we want you teaching them how to enter the checks themselves, because it makes it easier when we have to follow up with folks. So I know that's a lot of information that's both fundraising and public image and year end and annual meeting, but what questions about all of that do you guys have?
Let me see if I can talk. I apologize for being on the phone. My laptop has a malware on it and it's getting taken care of. Hey, I've got probably 40% of our clubs in our district that have zero giving. My intention is to tell the incoming district governor, hey, here's the clubs that aren't very supportive of CART right now, and for him to take some action as well, just as a kind of a notice to not only the club presidents and the incoming club presidents, but to make sure that he knows what's going on as well. Because I think that that's a big ask for the district, to make sure that those are as few as possible. Anyway, thank you for putting up with me.
Thank you, Greg. That is an excellent point, that it does truly come from the leadership of the district. As I always remind everyone, we are a guest of a district. We are not a Rotary International partner. We are a partner of Rotary clubs and Rotary districts, and we are there simply as guests of club leadership and district leadership. And if you can get your district leadership behind you and supportive, that is the absolute best way to get increased participation, increased donation. And we talk about that a little bit all year long with things like competitions and district newsletters and the governor making it part of their official visits and all of that. And we'll go through all of that again in July. But that is an excellent point that Greg made, that this is an opportunity, especially when the year starts, or right now they're all busy trying to get ready for their new year. These next 2 months between June and July is a great opportunity to say, here are the clubs that are going to need a little extra attention. And you get them to help you. That's how you start eliminating zero giving clubs. Absolutely. Other questions, comments, ideas?
Tiffany,
Yes, Andy.
how do you go about like selecting somebody for a Changemaker Award? What kind of criteria would you look for?
I would say there are 3 things that you could look at. Number 1 might be a financial contribution. Let's say you had someone that made a very large gift and inspired other people, obviously, and they didn't mind it being public, not an anonymous gift, obviously. Number 2 would be someone who gives of their time. They show up for meetings. They help you set up booths. They are always standing up at the front of their club every week, reminding people to put money in the bucket. Those kinds of things. Number 3 might be someone who had a crazy idea that generated something. So I'll give you an example of someone that is in Don's district that my intent is to go and recognize this person. I just haven't gotten there yet. But their club had never really, I'm not going to say who it is because it's still going to be a surprise, but it was all about an event to raise money for CART. It was just a crazy idea that one person had. Well, let me use an example. There is one in Don's district that I did recognize in the Rotary Club of Albemarle. They have a lady, Louisa Jane, there. And Louisa Jane was sitting in a Rotary Club meeting one day and they were talking about CART. And she said, we should do a fundraiser that would raise a little extra money for CART. And now this event has gone on many years. They raised $13,000, $14,000 to support CART, all because this one woman had this idea. And she doesn't do it alone. She'll be the first to recognize it was her idea, but everybody pitches in, everybody helps. So it might be someone who has a crazy idea and motivates and inspires others. It might be somebody who made a financial contribution. It might be somebody who gives us their time or their talents. And then it might just be somebody who has supported CART from day one, and even to this day, they're still a recurring donor. They're still a champion. There's, and in our district, your district, which is my district, there are a lot of those people out there actually who have been supporters of CART for 20 years, and so I think there's no one set criteria. It's more of they meet one of those 3 things. And I'm happy to send you the script if you want to look at it, Andy, and kind of see. I have the script set up of talking about what a change maker is. And then there's 3 options of which paragraph you read about that particular person, whether they made a financial contribution, a time contribution, a talent contribution, an idea, that kind of thing.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, just remind me.
I will.
Okay.
You just gave me an idea. So it would have to come from the club that person is in?
It come from the club. You mean the award?
Would have to be generated. The request to have that person awarded would come from the club?
It doesn't have to. The district chair may know of that person and just do it on their own. We leave that to the sole discretion of the district chair to pick the person for their district. So Tom picked someone in his district that is an avid supporter of CART. Greg picked someone in his district who is an avid supporter of CART. And 7750 has picked someone. They will be presented at their district awards in July that is an avid supporter of CART. And I have left that completely to the district chair. I don't think I'm the one that should pick that, but we left it open that the board of directors can also award them. So we gave one to Don Seitz as an example. We gave one to Michelle, for example. We gave one to Rod Funderburk, for example, Louisa Jane, David Post, Charlene Hall. There's a couple more. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but we've created a whole committee of that in DACTB so that we can communicate with those people and make sure they know they're invited. And if there's someone that you all know that maybe I don't even know about, I welcome the, and the guy in Virginia, in Milton's district, sorry, he was the very first one. Mike Meadows was the very first one that we awarded because, and I'll give you that example, no one even knew what he was doing, but every week at his club meeting, he was throwing $100 bill into the little blue bucket before anyone even realized it was him. They had collected, $4,000 this year, and they're like, where did this money come from? And someone realized he was doing it very quietly, without any recognition, without anyone else realizing what he was doing. And we were able, they found out, they let me know. Milton and I chatted about it. I drove to Virginia and we surprised him and recognized him at his club meeting. And it was a very special day. He is a very special individual that was doing that out of the goodness of his heart. And so we were able to say thank you to him. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. We've been trying to do that more and more, but we're truly going to focus on being very donor centric and appreciative. Not that we haven't been appreciative, but we're really going to focus on that in the next year. Other ideas, questions? Tom, was that a thumbs up or you have a question? A thumbs up. Okay. Excellent. All right, let me look at my notes and see if I've left off anything. New buckets are here. Y'all let me know if you need them. New pens are here. Let me know if you need them. If you still need more Roger Ackerman circle pens, let me know that. The other thing I was going to mention to you guys is I want to tell you what the numbers are of June 1st, so that you know where we are in the leaderboard, because I pulled the numbers. I will have the graphic up this weekend, and then we'll get a newsletter out over the weekend as well. As of June 1, with 4 weeks to go, first place, District 7680. Second place, District 7690. Those are going to be hard to catch in the next 4 weeks. I'm not going to lie. But the next ones are the ones that you guys want to know about. District 7770 as of June 1 was at 159,000. And 7670 is at 133,000. And then 7750, and I'm going to share this with you guys as well, is at $93,765. The reason that is important is I emceed a fundraiser for them about a month ago at their district conference. And Carol Burdette, as you all know, the year she was governor, she issued a challenge to her district to raise $100,000 for CART. And if they did it, she would let someone shave her head. And I said, I'm never doing that. I love CART, but I'm not doing that. But we were at their fundraiser for CART, and it was going very well. And they were at $49,000. And I said, I have an idea. If you guys can meet Carol's challenge from a few years ago and hit $100,000 in the next 2 months, I will wear a Clemson jersey. They were at $49,000. There was absolutely no way in 8 weeks they could hit $100,000. Today, they are at $93,000. So they have 4 weeks left. They are on a major push to get another less than $235 in, and Tiffany's going to have to wear a Clemson jersey. So I've roped Carol into it as well, and she has to wear the Carolina jersey. So I think that on July the 11th, I will be in Greenville at their district awards ceremony wearing that god-awful orange, because they're going to hit $100,000 come hell or high water, right, Frank?
Come on now.
It's just not in my color wheel, Frank.
I get it.
Yes. So they are at 93,765, and I'm not going to lie, I've been tracking that one constantly. And they went from 49,000. I will tell you how it happened though. There was one gentleman from the Lake Wiley Rotary Club in the audience, and when I said, y'all got to raise $50,000 in 8 weeks, he went, I got this. And the Rotary Club of Lake Wiley invited me to their club to present the check from their fundraiser, and their check was over $40,000. Now, if he had told me that before I opened my big old fat mouth, then we might have raised the goal a little bit higher. But listen, they're going to do it, and it's a great challenge. And I tell you that because I'm willing to do a lot of things for CART, as you're going to see at the annual meeting on July 30th, because Jimmy and I have some great ideas too. But if that is something you want to think about for next year for some sort of challenge, I mean, God forbid, Greg, you make me wear Carolina blue. I just don't know if I could even do that or not. That's almost as bad as the Clemson orange in my world. But there are all kinds of ways that we can issue challenges and have some fun and increase giving from year to year. And this will be a huge jump for 7750. So I'm really proud of them. So in addition to that, I will, yes, thank you. I also wanted to mention where we are in our clubs, because as of right now, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 15 clubs who have hit $10,000 or more this year. And so there are a lot of clubs that are really close. And so I encourage you to go in. We talked about that earlier, and do that, and double check and see who's close to 10,000, so that we can maybe get that to 20 or 25. That would be incredible. And then that will be an integral part of your presentation for next year, so we can start pushing that from the very beginning. So that's where we are with our numbers from June 1st. I will mention one other thing about the annual meeting. Thank you to Milton for reminding me that we are doing something brand new at the annual meeting this year as well that we've never done, and that is a very small silent auction. So if you have something incredible that you would like to donate, or you know someone that would like to donate, we are not out there calling everybody we know asking them to donate, a piece of luggage or a plate or something like that. It's going to be really nice things, and we're limiting it to maybe 10 or 12. The Rotary Club of Charlotte is going to coordinate this for me because they're there locally, but Milton is the one that kicked this off with an incredible donation from someone in his district, and honestly, that's what gave me the idea, and we're going to run with it. But someone in his district has donated a bottle of wine that is autographed by Jim Nance, who, if you all know, is, of course, a legendary sportscaster and broadcaster, but also lost his father to dementia and has written a book about it, which I have the book here on my shelf. But he also now owns a winery. It's called The Calling is the name of it, and it's dedicated to his father. So it's an incredible story. That was the first item that we got. I did get some items today from someone else that a couple of things we've gotten lined up. But again, 10 or 12 items. So if you have an idea and you want to send me that, I'll be happy to take a look at it, and we'll see if we can make it work. But I just wanted you to know that that's going to be something extra that we're adding on at the annual meeting. You will have to either be there in person to bid, or you'll have to have a proxy that knows how much they can put on your credit card. So I'm just sharing that as well. So now, knowing all of that, I think we're caught up. What questions do you guys have for me before we wrap up for the night on our last call of the year? I do love Don's idea. He sent me a private message that I could wear Clemson purple instead of Clemson orange. And that would work great for me because of Furman, but I don't think that Carol Burdett's going to let me get away with that. So I don't think Frank Cox is going to let me get away with that. No, he is not. But I love the idea. What other questions do you guys have?
Yeah, I know I don't have to remind this group that I'm here to help them with the CART portal. If they have any questions, if they need any reports, or if they can't find information about their clubs or how to send out a report or whatever, just call me and I'm happy to help anybody make that happen. We answer our calls on the help desk very promptly. People are known, they say the CART Fund takes good care of their donors. So if we get a help desk question, we answer it properly, but I'm here to help anybody who needs any help. We want to be successful as a group. It takes a village.
Exactly. And if you can't find out how to get in touch with Michelle, for some reason you can't find her email, there is a place on the portal that says ask, and not the support, it's the support ticket, right, Michelle? And it comes to you. Yes, you open a support ticket in the portal and it will come to Michelle. Don, yes, sir.
Say I'm successful in Canada and find a club that does want to sign up and start donating the cart. What would be the next step?
So we make sure we get them some buckets, and then we train them on how to deposit the funds into the portal in American funds with a bank account. Somehow we have to figure that out in case they have Canadian dollars. We do have to kind of figure that one out. But really, you just let me know. I think all of those districts, because you've worked with them in the past, I think Michelle and I already have them in the portal, but just confirming with us that we have them in there. And then Michelle or me, and we have some other folks that are now trained on that as well, we can make sure that we give the correct powers to the people who are the officers of that club so that they can make a donation on behalf of the club. And so your role as the district CART chair, even though that's not your district, is just to simply show them how to log into the portal and do an EFT transfer. And if you are working with a club that's not in DAC-DB, then they just have to create an account and log in, and then we can still connect them to the correct club.
All those clubs out there use Club Runner.
Okay, well, they just they create the account, we'll make it work. That we have a lot of districts around the country that do use Club Runner, and we're able to track it. Even out in Texas, Evelyn is on with us tonight. I was in Texas a few weeks ago. They are not DAC either, but we have them all in the portal already, especially the ones that you've already spoken to in Washington and in Canada. I think they're already all in there.
Yeah, I think you do have a, for District 50/50.
Yep.
That's what you got there.
Exactly. Any other questions?
Well, this is Evelyn. I just wanted to say hello, everyone. And I am not on with my face, but it will be there next time. And we are, of course, in Texas, and we're hoping to get more people involved on this part of the world. And we loved having Kelly at our district conference in Houston, which we have 60 clubs here.
Thank you.
I live in Georgia, but I'm part of the virtual club that's based out of North Carolina. So when I go onto DAC, I can't really find who's in charge in Georgia. How would I start to connect to hopefully hook up with clubs to do the presentation?
Well, so each of those districts would have their own district chair.
Okay.
Like Glenda is one of the three there, but ironically, so the district that you're in is 6910 is where you live. And they do have a district chair. She's in Athens, and she's not on the call tonight, but I was talking to her earlier today too. But
Can you connect me, please?
I will love to connect you with her. She would love to have some help visiting clubs. And then the 6900, we're actually replacing the district chair there. So I don't know who that new one is going to be yet. We're not replacing it. I didn't mean that. She's rotating off into another role. I didn't mean I'm replacing her. I don't do that. That doesn't involve me, but yes. But I'll be happy to connect you with Patty and Glenda also on this call. I encourage you to connect with her because she's in Georgia, even though she's in South Georgia. She has been at the Georgia Peach State Pets every year as far back as I can remember, and she is an amazing advocate for CART, and she knows everything.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. And Andy, you could connect with Andy. Y'all are in different places on my screen, but Andy is 7670 Western North Carolina, where Hendersonville is as well. So Laura's dad used to be in Four Seasons with me, and so she grew up in Hendersonville, so that's that connection. So I love it when you guys connect with other people. And of course Michelle is there, yes, but Andy is our district chair. Michelle has much bigger responsibilities. All right. Any other questions?
Tiffany, I have a list of names coming out of district conference with their emails. Do you want me to just put that together in a spreadsheet and send it to you so they can get added into the email chain?
That would be fabulous. So 2 options for you guys. Thank you for asking that question, Milton. You can do one of 2 things. You can hand type them yourself into an Excel document that has first name, last name, email. And then I can import them into our email newsletter distribution list. Or if it's 8 or 10 and you have some free time and you're sitting at your computer, you can go to cartfund.org where it says sign up for our e-news list, and you can type in Tiffany Irvin at first name, last name, and then email address and hit add me. And then when it resets, you do it again and you add them each in individually. But that's a lot of work if you have 14 pages of names. But if you can put them into an Excel list and send it to me, first name, last name, and email address, I can import them. Either of those options are fine. And if they want to be on the list to know about this meeting, that's a different list. Okay, great. Thank you. Andy.
Yes, ma'am.
Question about like international conferences. Is CART present at any of that? Because I know, I'm not able to go to Singapore, but I'm going to be going to Spain.
Okay, yes, that's an excellent question. Thank you. So CART does not provide a booth at an international convention because, of course, we're only a 501c3 in the United States, but we are one of the founding partners of the Alzheimer's Dementia Rotary Action Group, and they have a booth at the convention, and they will be in Taipei. And I just got the information this week of who is coordinating that booth, and so that's going to be in our newsletter that goes out this weekend. That's typically what I do every year, is put it in the newsletter that says anyone who gets this newsletter, if you're going to the international convention and you want to volunteer for an hour or so, here's the person that's coordinating that booth. You reach out to them. They have the schedule. They take care of it. I'm not going to be in Taipei, so I will not be volunteering at that. But the people that are coordinating it would love to have some extra volunteers, and they just sent me that information this week. And actually, for you, it's Bill Shillitoe. That's easy for you to reach
So
out to him.
it's a drag, right? Like,
Yes, that's correct. Mhm. But Bill is the person that's coordinating all of the volunteers for that booth. Mhm.
thank you.
Thank you for asking. That's a great question. That'll go in our newsletter. Mhm. What other questions?
Last month you said Chris Jones was doing something for you.
Mhm.
He finished it?
It is not finished. We are working on a new app for CART, and they tried to reach Patrick today, did not get him today, but they are working on a new app. The goal is to have it by July 1, for sure to have it by the annual meeting, the end of July, but they are still working on it. It will be a totally new app that you can download from the App Store for CART, and it will make making a donation much easier. It will change the look of the portal, which I know everyone is going to be happy about. But you'll be able to do it much easier. We recognize that scanning the QR code on the side of the buckets is still clunky and not user friendly, but it is what it is until we get it replaced rather than repair it twice more. We're going to change all of that when the new app comes out. It will still have the QR code. The buckets will be fine. We don't have to replace that. The QR code will still work. It'll just be simpler when you scan it. Thank you for asking. Yes. I love it when people have been on previous meetings and they remind me to follow up on some of these for folks who may not have known that originally. Thank you. Anything else? Please go register for the annual meeting. There are 2 links for 2 hotels. If you're coming and staying from out of town, if you're not in that Charlotte area, encourage you to stay at Hyatt Place or Doubletree. Doubletree has free cookies when you check in. I'm just saying, if you like chocolate chip cookies. But encourage your folks in the newsletter will go out this weekend. You are invited to take the paragraph or the blurb that will be in that newsletter that talks about the annual meeting, cut and paste it, put it in, send it to your district public image chair, your district newsletter chair, your district governor, ask them to share it as well. We want as many people as possible. Our goal is 100 people. We have room for more than that. So let's get over 100 there this year with 10 researchers. Let's show them what we are capable of doing. Anything else? We'll double check all the notes over here and make sure that I didn't miss anything that anyone needed me to answer. I don't see anything right now. All right. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. You know how to reach me if you need me. I'm back home now, so I'll be in my office for the next 2 days. Feel free to email me if you need me.
Excellent, excellent job. Excellent meeting.